Shazam! Hey everybody, Neil back once again with another quick film review for you, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Black Adam. Yes, directed by Jean-Colette Serva, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If not, I'm sorry. There will be spoilers for this review, of course, so you have been warned. Spoiler alert. It's been a little while now since the movie's come out, so you've all had a chance to see it, and I'd love to know what you thought of this movie, so let me know in the comments below. Alright, so if you know all about these Golden Age DC characters as I do, then you'll find a lot to appreciate here in terms of the casting and the overall adaptation, all things considered. I mean, Black Adam doesn't have the pointy ears like he does in the comics, but that's fine. I don't really care. There's no mention, however, of Shazam, Zachary Levi's character from the 2019 Shazam film. But this film is still a spin-off of Shazam. It's just odd that there's no connection at all here. You assume that they're saving that for a future film. It stars Dwayne Johnson, who also co-produced, and he's been trying to get this movie off the ground for over a decade, honestly. He was born to play Black Adam. I really think so. This is some of the best casting, some of the most obvious casting, I'd say. For a long time, I've always thought that Dwayne Johnson, yep, he would make a great Black Adam. I never thought he would make a great Shazam, like the Billy Batson character. But I think this is just perfection in terms of the casting. And he's not the only great casting here. They did a great job casting Aldous Hodge as Hawkman and also Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. And the casting overall here is pretty darn good. The look of the film is fantastic too, and because the characters are fun and the action is fun, there's a lot to enjoy here despite some cheesy kind of cliched moments. So, getting into the story now, this story is, okay, I'm going to have to really, shrink this down because it can get a bit convoluted. So, the story starts in 2600 BC in the nation of Kahndaq. These rebel slaves, they rebel against their slave masters, and one of them, this young boy, he's about to be executed when he is actually chosen to be the champion by the wizard, once again played by Dwayne Johnson from Shazam. And there are other wizards there too. This was really cool to see. There were other interesting versions of wizards. Later on, there's only one. So, very, very interesting. And we are led to think that the wizard turns him into Dwayne Johnson, but we actually find out later that he, the son that is, wound up transferring his power to his dying father. The young slave is shot with an arrow. The power is transferred to his father. So it's really his father. It was kind of obvious at the beginning of the film, quite frankly. You can kind of tell from the voice and everything early on. The shrunk down Dwayne Johnson. It's actually very good, really good effects. Now, so it's a story that comes out of tragedy, as his family. This character is known as Teth Adam, and Dwayne Johnson, and his whole family is wiped out here in the end, and that sets off his rage, and he takes that revenge, that vengeance, he takes it out on the king, who's been mining this Eternium, this metal that can hurt him. But anyway, he winds up blowing up the whole place and killing the king and all that, and then he needs to be put away, I guess, for a little while, because he's imprisoned. Later, we do think that it's a tomb that he's sealed here, but he's actually imprisoned there because he was out of control. So it was actually the wizards that had to imprison Black Adam. So, yeah. So, now, we move ahead to present-day Kahndaq, and we get this rebel archaeologist woman named Adriana Tomaz. I'm not certain if that's Isis, like the character Isis, if you remember that TV show from the 70s. No? Nobody? Okay, never mind. So who cares, right? I mean, Adrienne Tomaz is the character here. She is, she's basically digging for this crown, which was made from the Eternium that they were mining for way back in the day in Kondak. So she's doing that. She also has this son as well, and he's a little skateboard kid. You know, he's not he's not that annoying. He's fine, I think. But she's an archaeologist. She's looking for this stuff, and she winds up releasing Black Adam, and he immediately starts killing these soldiers, these intergang soldiers that are after her. He's no hero, you know, in terms of being attacked. So anyone that attacks him is basically dead. But luckily, you know, she doesn't attack him. So anyone that doesn't attack him, it's kind of like the Predator almost that way. You know, he's not going to attack back. Now, her team, you know, as I said, you know, they went there looking for this crown. This is a crown of Sabak, as it's called. It's this, some kind of ancient weapon of sorts, or perhaps something more. She gets the crown, and she runs away with her funny brother, Karim, and Black Adam catches up with them, but he's okay with not killing them. He winds up getting injured by some Eternium released in a rocket, and then they wind up taking care of him. They put him up in her son's room, which is just full of DC posters and everything there. You know, gratuitous DC stuff. I mean, why not, right? I mean, I probably would too if I was DC. So, yeah, he's down for a bit, but he comes back up, and there's some really funny scenes where he's smashing through walls and things like that. Now, one of her allies, one of Adriana's allies here, his name is Ishmael. He reveals himself to be the leader of this intergang, and he later winds up chasing Adriana's son, Amon is his name, by the way, and eventually captures him. So they exchange the crown for Amon, but Ishmael is killed, and they figure, well, that's that, and Black Adam agrees to depower himself, and he winds up being placed in this water tank prison, and that way he can't say the word Shazam, right? The demons of hell send Ishmael back as their champion to rule/destroy the world, I guess. The true leader of Kondak, you know, he wants to be a tyrant that rules the entire world. I think that seems to be what they were going for because they're evil demons. Luckily, Dr. Fate fights this demon champion, and he sacrifices himself. Keep in mind, it's the helmet, Nabu, that's the real power here. It's Lord of Order. It's a long story. But he winds up sacrificing himself because he sees a vision of Hawkman dying, and he didn't want Hawkman to die. So he sacrifices himself, and that may be the end of Kent Nelson, Pierce Brosnan, who gives a really nice performance here. But I don't think it'll be the end of Dr. Fate. I really don't think so. Now, Hawkman and two of the newer characters, the younger Justice Society members, Cyclone and Atom Smasher, they're really good too. They come in and they're fighting against this demon champion and, you know, Ishmael, basically, and they're losing badly. So they need Black Adam to come back. Dr. Fate does save the day because he's able to actually, he can do almost anything here, it seems. He's basically, you know, a super sorcerer. He was the Sorcerer Supreme before there was a Doctor Strange at Marvel. Yeah, Dr. Fate, he can actually project himself to others, and in this case, he splits himself in a way, and he wakes up Black Adam and allows him to escape. So Black Adam escapes, of course, and he takes on the big bad guy, of course, the demon champion, and beats him eventually, and he's pronounced protector, not ruler, but protector of Kondak. And in the mid-credits scene, we get Amanda Waller, who's also briefly featured earlier on in the film. But Amanda Waller here, she talks to Black Adam for a bit, and she says, you know what? We've got some pretty special people here, too, that can keep you under control. Some people that are not from this planet. And, of course, we get, in the mid-credit scene, here we go, ready? We get Henry Cavill back again as Superman. And he's got the Superman curl, too. I don't even know if I'm allowed to show the picture, so if there's no picture while I'm talking about Superman, I'm sorry. But y'all know what he looks like. He's awesome. Henry Cavill. He's like one of the best Supermen of all time. Up there with Chris Reeve, Tyler Hoechlin. There's been a lot of good ones. But anyway, very excited to see Henry Cavill back again, and very excited about them setting up the next film as Superman approaches Black Adam and says, we should talk. So that's very cool. As a DC fan, I was like, yeah, fanboy moment. Very happy. Okay, so on to the criticisms here and wrap up this little review. And I gotta say, yeah, I found a couple of story moments, plot-wise, that felt a little weak. It was a little bit like, sending the Justice Society to Kondak to stop Black Adam. It's just going to cause more death and destruction. But, yeah, okay, the main villain was just kind of meh to me. I was just kind of, again, he was just kind of, he was okay. He was not great, but he was all right, I guess. It made sense, from a story standpoint, but it just wasn't that impressive. Nowhere near as much fun, seeing this villain sent from hell. It's nowhere near as cool as seeing the JSA taking on Black Adam. And I did like all of the JSA. Even the kind of goofy, clumsy Atom Smasher. I think he was all right. Cyclone was very cool. One thing I got to mention about Atom Smasher is that Henry Winkler actually plays his relative that gave him the suit. That was funny. Come on, you see the Fonz pop up there for a minute? That's hilarious. That's great. Yeah. So anyway, not bad. In terms of the film overall, plot-wise, it didn't thrill me that much. They could do better writing-wise, I think. But I was very happy with the cast. Even the kid, Emmanuel, he wasn't very annoying. He didn't bother me too much, the skateboard kid and everything. It's kind of cliched, though. I mean, there are some cliched moments that we've seen before. Some things kind of reminded me of Terminator 2 a little bit, with John Connor and the T-800 and everything. And you just can't go killing people. Why? It's just perfect. Yeah, that's a perfect comparison. I'll bet you Screen Junkies will probably mention that, yeah, in their honest review of Black Adam. But you know what? This movie's pretty good. It got some really strange kind of critical reaction at the start from critics that don't care about these characters, and I think that's a big factor here. The action and the characters, for me, make up for any minor misgivings otherwise about the plot here and there. I'm going to give it, overall, a 7.5 out of 10. Yes, 7.5. I think the adaptation is what really makes it worth watching, and it's a big screen blockbuster, summer blockbuster movie in fall, but still, it feels like a big summer popcorn movie, and it's really something you should see on the big screen. IMAX is definitely worth it, so yeah, that'll be my score, 7.5. Loved Dr. Fate. Pierce Brosnan was a definite standout. I loved Aldous Hodge as Hawkman as well. He's got the teeth to show the the anger, because Hawkman is always angry. He's always ticked off. And he's the leader too, but maybe not forever. They'll probably come up with new characters in future films. But first we're going to probably get Black Adam versus Superman. So yeah. Can't wait for that. So, if you love Dwayne Johnson, you love the Justice Society of America, and you love these characters, and you love great action, big popcorn movie, hey, check it out. It's worth it. And that's all I'm going to say about Black Adam, guys. This is Neil, signing off. Thank you so much for tuning in to this review. And until next time, peace.